I da govori srpski, pa ćemo, budite strpljivi, govoriti delimično na engleskom, delimično ću ja prevoditi na srpski sa ciljem da vas upoznamo, a i to postoji, sa do sada nepoznatim delovima ili manje poznatim delovima Egipta. Dobro jutro.
Dobro jutro.
Dobrodošli, hvala što ste tu.
Kako ste?
Mi smo dobro, a vi?
Dobro.
Posle svega što se desilo, trudimo se da budemo bolje i da nađemo neke lepe teme. Egipat sigurno jeste lepa tema. Pa ćemo sad da pređemo na engleski. Jedan veliki događaj bio je pre 3 dana u Beogradu, a to je predstavljanje severne obale Egipta. To je ono što nismo znali. Znamo Šarm el Šejk, znamo Hurgadu, ali šta je sa egipatskim Mediteranom koji je posebno područje? So you have presented the northern coast of Egypt to Serbia. Why is it special and what does it offer?
Why is it not special?
Zašto da nije specijalno?
Let me first thank you for receiving me today at Studio B. It's my pleasure and my honor to be here today with you. I'd like to tell you that North Coast presents a totally different experience compared to what the Serbian tourist is used to in Hurghada and Sharm el Sheikh.
Severna obala predstavlja nešto potpuno drugačije u odnosu na Hurgadu i Šarm el Šejk i ono na što smo tamo navikli.
This is a Mediterranean Sea with crystal light blue transparent sea with big waves and white sandy beaches that stretches over 200 kilometers with, I don't know, maybe 50, 60 five-star resorts.
To je obala kristalno belog peska i prozirne tirkizne vode sa 50 do 60 rezorta koji imaju 5 zvezdica.
If you're interested in beach and sea tourism, this is definitely the place to be in the summer.
Ako vas interesuju plaže i more, onda je ovo pravo mesto za leto.
Contrary to Hurghada, Hurghada's temperature for Egyptians in the summer is around 40 degrees, but the north coast is around 28, 29 degrees.
Za razliku od Hurgade koja je pretopla i gde je temperatura leti preko 40, ovde je jedva 30, 28 do 30.
The north coast is high quality and specialized resorts for sea tourism. So it's more equipped than when it comes to Hurghada and Sharm el Sheikh in that sense.
Severna obala je zapravo pre svega usmerena na vodu i vodene sportove i u tom smislu bolje opremljena nego Hurgada i Sharm el Sheikh.
I give you my word and I promise you if you try the north coast it would be an experience that you will never forget.
Dajem vam reč, ako probate severnu obalu Egipta, bit će to iskustvo koje nikad nećete zaboraviti. Why didn't we know so far about the northern coast? I mean, it is the area where Alexandria is, for example. Dakle, to je deo Egipta u kojem je, na primer, famozna Aleksandrija, mnogi kažu majka svih gradova. Zašto do sad nismo znali više o ovom delu Egipta?
This is a good question. After the historic visit of President Sisi last year, and which was met by extreme generosity by the Serbian side, Serbian government, and President Vučić himself. Decisions were taken by the two presidents to augment and enhance the relations between the two countries.
Posle istorijske posete predsjednika Sisija i velike dobrodošlice koju je imao ovde od srpskih vlasti i predsjednika Vučića prošle godine, doneta je odluka da se odnosi prodube.
And this year we celebrate 115 years of diplomatic relations between Egypt and Serbia.
I ove godine slavimo 115 godina diplomatskih odnosa.
So there were decisions taken on both sides to intensify our efforts between both countries. Hence, part of it, of course, is tourism.
Obostrano je odlučeno da se intenziviraju odnosi, a deo svega toga je i turizam.
And North Coast this year is being publicized by several Serbian touristic agencies, including 5-star hotels for 1 week and 1 visit to Alexandria and 1 visit to Marsa Matruh. Both cities are on the Mediterranean Sea and both of them offer a lot for the Serbian tourists.
Dakle, ideja je, a to je sada otvorilo nekoliko srpskih turističkih agencija, da se bude na 7 dana na severnoj obali sa posetom Aleksandriji i Marsa Matruh, smo tako rekli, kao mestima koje će biti vrlo interesantne za Srbe.
So whenever you go to the North Coast, you will have the chance, other than spending 1 week by the beach in a 5-star hotel fully inclusive, you will have time to visit Alexandria and you will have time to visit Marsa Matruh. Alexandria is full of historic sites. Marsa Matruh is full of historic bazaars. All whatever a Serbian tourist would ask for to see.
Dakle, ako odete tamo, vidjet ćete famoznu Aleksandriju i njene istorijske lokalitete, a i stare bazare u Masemartu. Inače je spaljivanje Aleksandrijske biblioteke smatra se najvećim gubitkom u istoriji sveta, u istoriji svetske kulture i istorije, jer je tu bilo sačuvano sve ono što se dešavalo do momenta spaljivanja početkom praktično naše ere, tako da je jasno da je Aleksandrija po svemu bila prestonica sveta. U stvari, Alexandria was the capital of the world, and the fire in the Alexandrian library is considered to be the greatest loss in the human history.
Yes, and lucky us, we worked on that project about a decade ago, where we established the new Biblioteca Alexandria. We were able to recover thousands of historic documents and books that are present now in the new Alexandria Library. I am currently working on a memorandum of understanding between the National Library of Serbia and Biblioteca Alexandria in order to have mutual cooperation, sharing of experience and knowledge. Whenever the Serbian tourist would be able to visit the North Coast, he would definitely have the chance to see the new great Alexandria Bibliotheca.
Evo što radi ozbiljna država. Dakle, već 10 godina se radi na projektu obnove Aleksandrijske biblioteke. Prikupljena su mnoga značajna dokumenta i Srbi koji budu tamo putovali imaće priliku da vide i tu obnovljenu Aleksandrijsku biblioteku. We have similar story, you know, that our national library was burned in German bombing of Belgrade.
Yes.
1941. Dakle, slično je naš najveći istorijski gubitak je spaljivanje, bombardovanje od strane Nemaca naše Narodne biblioteke na Kosančićevom vencu, tako da možemo da se nekako povežemo. So how many Serbian tourists are coming every year to Egypt? Koliko nas ode u Egipat? Koja je egipatska evidencija
godišnje?
Quite
high, but not up to my ambition. So last year we had around 70,000 Serbian tourists. I'm targeting this year to reach 100,000 Serbian tourists with the new direct line between Cairo and Belgrade. So the Serbian tourists would have a chance to visit Cairo, the pyramids, the Sphinx, the new grand museum that will open by the pyramids this year. That's, of course, a side of the North Coast and the charter flights to Sharm el-Sheikh and Hurghada. Hopefully, by the end of this year, we will be able to open new destinations, including Luxor and Aswan and Marsa Alam. Plus, I am campaigning for Serbia as an attractive touristic destinations for Egyptian tourists to come here, enjoy Belgrade, enjoy Zlatibor, enjoy Tara Mountains, Niš and Novi Sad. Serbia has a lot to offer for us as Egyptian tourists.
Dakle, oko 70.000 Srba godišnje otputuje u Egipat, ali ambasador kaže da su njegove ambicije mnogo veće i da je ova direktna linija ka Kairu jedna važna kapija, te da se radi posebno na intenziviranju posetama Luksoru i Asuanu, thank you, ali da sa druge strane pokušava da dovede što više Egipćana ovde, recimo Zlatibor i Tara mogu biti neke od interesantnih destinacija. Another thing is actually a point of my interest here. Još nešto me jako zanima. You know, here in the Balkans we are small but very angry at each other. Mi smo ovde na Balkanu mali, ali smo stalno u zavadi jedni sa drugima. You in Egypt somehow manage to live as great nation with many differences, religious and ethnical, in peace and in progress for centuries. Dakle, u Egiptu su mnogo veći, mnogo su veće razlike, pa ipak žive u miru i sad, posljednjih godina, jako dobro napreduju ekonomski. What is the secret? U čemu je tajna?
Egypt is one of the oldest civilizations.
Egipat je jedna od najstarijih civilizacija na svetu.
We share a lot with the Serbian culture, by the way.
Mnogo dele i sa našom kulturom, imaju zajedničkog.
And we have a lot of history together.
I imamo mnogo zajedničke istorije.
Remember that Egypt and Serbia were the ones that established the Nine Line movement.
Aha, mi smo osnovali nesvrstane zajedno.
Both two countries, along with India, were the leaders of the free world and independent world back then in the 50s.
I bili smo vođe tadašnjeg 50. godina nezavisnog i slobodnog sveta.
Egyptians are, by nature, since it's an agricultural civilization that existed for 5,000 years.
Egipćani su poljoprivredna civilizacija koja postoji najmanje 5000 godina.
Live by one of the longest rivers in the world, the
Žive uz
Nile.
jedno od najdužih reka na svetu, Nil.
And they have been since nature and since they've existed religious people.
I oduvek su jako vezani za veru, za religiju.
And you know, it's similar to Serbia, but the opposite way around. Majority are Muslims, but we have 20% that are Christian Orthodox.
Suprotno od Srbije imamo dakle većinu muslimana i 20% pravoslavaca
They live
u Egiptu.
harmony side by side,
Žive u harmoniji jedni pored
just like
drugih.
in Serbia, because they believe
Kao i u
in
Srbiji.
citizenship.
Jer veruju
Not religious minority, but the notion of one country for one Egyptian, just like one Serbia for one Serbian.
Jer veruju u princip države i državljanstva, dakle pre svega da su građani Egipta, kao što bi mi svi morali prvo da gledamo sebe kao građane Srbije, pa tek onda kao etničke grupe.
Since I've arrived to Serbia, I've always felt that we share the same culture.
Otkad sam stigao u Srbiju, osjećam da delimo jednu kulturu. You're young but experienced diplomat. You have been in Washington, you have been in Geneva, in Arab region also. How do you feel about Serbia and Belgrade? Dakle, mladi, ali vrlo iskusan diplomata i Washington i Ženeva i neke od arapskih zemalja su bile njegove misije. Da li se u Srbiji osjeća kao kod kući u Beogradu? But be sincere, please.
I am being sincere.
Biću iskren.
I have felt home since I've arrived here.
Osjećam se kao kod kuće kako sam stigao.
My family has been enjoying their time from day one.
Moja porodica od prvog dana uživa ovde.
I have a son who is 8 years old.
Imam sina koji ima 8 godina.
And when he arrived here, he told me, I'd like to stay here for some 5-6 years.
I kad je stigao ovde, rekao je, voleo bi da budem ovde 5-6 godina.
After 6 months, he told me clearly, forget about me staying for 8 years, I want to stay for 300 years.
Posle 6 meseci je rekao, zaboravi na ono što sam ti rekao, hoću da ostanem ovde 300 godina. Da su Egipćani, oni mere stvari na 300 do 3000 godina. You measure things with hundreds and thousands of years in Egypt.
And I'm being sincere because, as I told you, once I arrived here, I felt all the generosity and love to Egypt, people and government-wise.
I kada sam, jesam potpuno iskren zato što sam ovde osetio velikodušnost i naroda, ali i sistema, odnosno administracije.
Belgrade is a cosmopolitan city. Everybody speaks multi-languages. Everybody is quite generous. Everybody goes out of their way to help whenever I need help. And I'm speaking here about the normal citizen, because I don't go around even in the weekend saying that I'm an ambassador. When I go shopping, when I need to buy something, everybody is always helping.
I ono što je najvažnije, predusretljivost Beograđana. Prvo, mnogo nas govori mnogo različitih jezika i kaže ambasador, ne idem okolo i ne govorim da sam ambasador kada idem u kupovinu ili kada šetam gradom, a ipak svi izlaze u susret i hoće da pomognu kada je potrebno.
And as a diplomat, for me, this is a measure of a proud and historical civilization.
I za mene kao diplomatu to je mera jednog ponosnog i istorijskog jedne civilizacije i naroda. Wow. You should be paid for working on our national pride. Trebalo bi da ga nagradimo za to što radi na našem nacionalnom ponosu. Okay, so you're still at the first half of your mission here. What will you work in the next years? Na čemu će raditi najviše u ostatku svoje misije u Beogradu?
That's a good question. After the historical visit of President Sisi to Serbia, which is the first one since 35 years ago, this year we're celebrating 150 years of diplomatic relations. We're celebrating it in different events. We are hosting the Egyptian Cultural Week in Serbia and the Serbian Cultural Week in Egypt. We are planning several new memorandum of understandings to be signed, including negotiations of a free trade area between Egypt and Serbia, which will definitely enhance trade levels between the two countries. We are working on opening several direct flights between different cities in Serbia and in Egypt, trying to increase export levels between the two countries and hopefully trying to have an exchange of high-level visits to be continued this year too.
Dakle, ima mnogo posla i u nastavku, ne samo u vezi sa Severnim Egiptom, posle istorijske posete predsjednika Sisija prve posle 35 godina, obeležavanje 115 godina diplomatskih odnosa Srbije i Egipta nastavit će se kroz nedelju Srbije u Egiptu i Egipta u Srbiji. Želja je da se poveća trgovina, izvozne kvote i bit će tu dosta zajedničkih projekata na kojima će se raditi. I wish you success and I wish you all the best in the interest of both nations. You know, my parents used to work in a textile company which was importing Egyptian cotton.
Impressive.
Da, moji su roditelji radili u jednoj kompaniji koja je uvozila i koristila egipatski pamuk. So from that time, from the 70s and 80s,
when I'm here, you will get the chance to see Egyptian cotton and textiles here in Serbia.
That's how we know you. Dakle, da obnovimo i te veze ako je moguće i da ponovo i privreda sarađuje jako i dobro u interesu obe zemlje. Njegova ekscelencija, ambasador Egipta u Srbiji Basel Salah, bio je moj gost. Počeli smo sa Severnim Egiptom i Aleksandrijom, završili evo ovde u Beogradu. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Hope to have you again here.